Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Kansas Moonshot Podcast, where we are shining the spotlight on amazing things happening in schools across the state. Whether you're one of the Mercury, Gemini, or Apollo schools launching some amazing redesign plans, or a teacher trying to do something a little different, I want to share your story. The goal is to celebrate the awesomeness all around us. Hi guys. As with everything else right now, this podcast is going to be a little different. Right now, I'm recording this episode from home. I'm not able to get into my classroom right now. We are currently on spring break. The plan is to go back into the classroom after spring break, but they're playing it by ear, waiting to make some decisions as we get closer to the end of our spring break to decide what's going to happen next. But there's this huge shift right now to online learning. How can we keep kids learning if our school buildings are closed for significant periods of time? Now, you have to follow whatever guidelines your district comes up with. And you have to follow whatever guidelines the state comes up with. I'm just going to give you my 2 cents worth, which is what I tend to do on this podcast, along with interviewing cool people. And so just keep in mind, this is all my personal opinions. I would love to hear more of your feedback on Twitter at TeachLikeANinja. Let me know your views on this topic. But I just want you to keep one thing in mind, actually a couple of things in mind, as you decide how to best handle school closures. The first is equity. You have students at your school who do not have internet access, or they may not have reliable internet access, or they may have some internet access, but that internet access has a data limit. That extensive pressure on that data limit is going to cause them to either have financial hardships, or it's going to cause them to not access all of the content. So you have to keep in mind, anytime you provide an online learning environment, how are kids going to be able to access it? And there are some kids that won't be able to access those opportunities. And normally they might be able to go to McDonald's and access a hotspot there, or Starbucks and access a hotspot there. But right now, people are being encouraged to stay home. So either they ignore the suggestions of health officials and go to those places and put themselves and their families at risk to complete the assignments, or they don't have the opportunity to complete those assignments. So just keep that in mind, that there's a huge issue of equity when these assignments are being developed. The second is there's this issue of equity in parent support. Because right now you've got some kids whose parents are able to work from home. You have some kids who both parents are going to work because they need to. And so kids are being at home alone, trying to navigate this online world without parent support because parents have to put food on the table. You also have some students who the parent may be a teacher and maybe they're trying to develop content for their students and don't necessarily have time to sit down with the students and help them with their online learning. And the final equity issue I'm seeing here is this equity of stress levels. Because for some kids, this is a really scary time. Things that are unknown are really scary for a lot of kids. And so you got to realize there are a lot of kids that right now are nervous. And so schoolwork is not a huge priority for them. So all of those things need to be kept in mind as you're developing this online content, deciding how you want to continue the education. The second thing besides equity is preparedness. Now, there are some people who are currently teaching online classes, or they already have a blended learning environment. They have online lessons. Kids have been used to that all year. That's great. If you are in that situation and your kids have been doing online lessons all year long, they know the drill, and all this is just adapting some of those lessons, you're in a lot better shape. And I would say run with that. But if you haven't, online learning is so much different than learning in the classroom. And there are so many hurdles to get through. Even simple things like, especially for my students, I see it all the time. Kids forget things like their login. Well, if I can't remember my login information, how am I supposed to access it? So if they haven't had practice with these online tools, they need either video supports or some sort of online email support, something to help keep them connected and help them navigate the confusing world of online learning. I, as a teacher who's been teaching for 12 years, still sometimes have a problem with students in my classroom keeping them engaged and working. So to have those same students go home and expect them to work at their own pace is a little scary to try to think about. And all of that leads me to this. Do the best you can with what you've got. There's been some criticism of teachers who have been sending home packets. Like, don't let this be another one of those opportunities where you just print off a packet. You know what? If that is where you're at right now and that's the best you can do right now in this unprecedented time, you go for that packet. I'm sorry, I'm not going to criticize someone who is trying to navigate these waters, and while they're doing that, they're putting together a packet the kids are going to try to work on. If you want to dive in some new technology and try it out, go for it. Okay? But do the best with what you've got, and don't be overwhelmed when you see Susie down the hall who's doing these awesome, incredible online lessons. Talk to Susie and see if she'll share them with you. But if she's doing these amazing lessons and all you've got right now is this packet, because that's what's holding you together right now, this is what you've got at the moment, and you're trying to develop other stuff, don't beat yourself over it. Okay, these are unprecedented times. We're trying to figure out what to do to help kids grow and learn. I would also suggest that as you're creating resources, think about how could this be used in my classroom? Because one thing I'm hoping will come out of this is that people will start to realize that a lot of the things we do in the classroom, whole group, could actually be done at students' own pace. And so we need to tap into that opportunity. So create things that can be reused. Create video instructions that then next year you can embed into your lessons. I hate wasting energy into something that's just going to be one and done and I'm not going to use it again. So I'm always trying to find ways that I can create something that then next year I can reuse it in some way or revamp it in some way. The final thing I will say is take everything you create and realize that this is bonus learning. And I know there are going to be some people who disagree with that, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. But in my opinion, this is bonus learning. Whatever we can get from kids, whatever we can get them to explore when they're not in the classroom right now is bonus. It's great. And I want to continue to provide opportunities for my kid to explore new things. And I'm going to try to come up with engaging ways to develop online lessons that they can explore if they can get access to it. But none of that is going to go into my grade book. None of that is going to have a direct impact on the lessons. I'm going to assume when they walk in on day one after we're done with this long break, we're starting over. And whatever we created, whatever we learned about is going to be bonus that's going to enhance them in the future. But I know there are going to be students who haven't had the opportunity, haven't necessarily had the support to get those assignments done, do those learning experiences. Now, like I said, I don't know what to expect next week. I don't know if we're going to continue to have school. And so this is, like I said, all unprecedented. I may next week find out that everything I said is wrong and that I need to develop online lessons. I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. But I believe in honesty, and I believe that I think if we all work in this together, there are a lot of great resources out there, but it can be a little overwhelming. I get that too. So just know I will continue to share out resources, retweet things that come my way that might be of interest to you. One thing that I am really loving is there is a huge community of authors who are coming together and either providing permission to record audio versions of their books and read to your students, or they are providing digital art lessons, videos. So check out YouTube videos, share those with kids. The other thing is nothing bad comes from reading a good book. If all my students did in the entire time they were away from my classroom is sat down and read some good books, I'd be okay with that. So if you want to reach out to me on Twitter, you can find me at Teach Like a Ninja. You can also reach me, teachlikeaninja@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know your favorite tools and resources. I'm also going to be posting in the near future. I'm working out the details of a new way for you to post online responses to questions. So you can actually record an audio response to a question I ask, and then I want to put together listener-supported episodes in the near future. But who knows what to expect. That's all I've got. Wishing you all the best. Continue to be kind, share resources. Yeah, that's all I've got. Until next time, book forward and be awesome. Bye, guys. For more information about this episode, check out my website, MrStockRocks.com. If you know someone doing something awesome in their classroom, let me know about it. I'd love to have them on the show. You can email me at teachlikeaninja@gmail.com or follow me on Twitter at teachlikeaninja. I've been your host, Josh Stock, 6th grade language arts teacher and self-proclaimed awesomeness expert. Until next time, book it forward and be awesome.